Good morning. If you turned in to our worship service last night, you realize that I read for probably 18 minutes straight. Reading used to be something that sent just fear into me. When I was very young, I hated to read, especially out loud, publicly. It was very difficult for me, almost like I stuttered through it. And yet, because of peer pressure at church, when they would ask you to read as a young person, I always read, but it really wasn't reading. I would go home with the scripture ahead of time and I would read it so much it would almost be a memory verse by the time I got up in front of the church because I didn't want to be embarrassed. As I grew a little older, it became evident that I was reading probably 5 or 6 years below the level that I should be reading. So my parents sent me to the University of Miami to a reading tutor or a reading coach, I might say, to try and help me improve reading. And reading was just something I didn't like to do. Baseball season rolled around and I realized that going to this tutor was going to interfere with this season and practice and everything. And so I buckled down and worked hard to get to where I was reading at a level that was the same level I should be at. But I still don't like to read. About the only book that I ever read is reading the Bible. But you know, when we buckle down and apply ourselves to things, with the Lord's help, we can often overcome the obstacles that are in front of us. We can often do things that we felt years ago were outside of our comfort zone. We can learn to be comfortable in a lot of situations that the devil would have us just accept. I'd like to turn to Philippians chapter 4, beginning in verse 10. I rejoice greatly in the Lord, that at last you have renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you have been concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I'm not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. My inability and problems with reading is nowhere near the magnitude of a lot of the problems that we face in life and the challenges that we have and the hurdles that we have to overcome and the comfort zone that beats us down and suppresses us because we don't want to get outside of our comfort zone. But Paul learned how to be content and satisfied in every circumstance that he found himself in. And he got that strength from the Lord. Be safe. Stay well out there.